welcome to Tuesday night. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Meringolo. He's Tim Strachan.
I could hear the music. It was great.
music on
and
for you.
apparently, Kevin's shirt is so cool that it has to wear shades.
I mean,
Kevin Ricca.
It's a bar giveaway from 16 years ago, so it is vintage.
Good to see everybody. Let's see if we can get, where's everybody at? Here we go. EO, Tom Meringolo, Robert Cohen, Greg Martin, AGH. I think I saw him earlier.
Your dad.
Yeah. I love you, Dad.
Love you, Dad.
We are. I mean, this is going to be a very loose and
tired.
And yeah, this is a show. This is a we still show up on Tuesday kind of a night because the last few days have been crazy. We just did the WCAC tournament, boys and girls from American University. It's fun. It's like it's one of the greatest things we get to do, and I can't believe we get to do it. It's so cool, but it's a lot of hours, and I mean, and we put in the extra hours.
It felt like 2 minutes, to be honest. It flew by.
6 games in 24 hours.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And for some reason, well, actually, I would say the Robinson one definitely felt like the Robinson one. Like 10 games feels like 10 games.
Well, we
No
have the
matter what
all-time
way
record. The all-time record in WCAC streams, 10 in a row in 48 hours.
Like
and,
Krusty the Clown.
Well, that was bed sores on our cheeks. That was a tough weekend. Splinters, whatever. There was all kinds of stuff.
I didn't know my name after that. I can't. We drove. I forget, where did we drive to from Robinson? There must have been a celebration of some kind that evening.
It was a Blair Witch scenario, as I recall.
Let's see. That happened last night was the final. PVI won for the boys over Gonzaga. St. John's over the Bishop McNamara Mustangs again for the girls. So good times for all 4 different schools on Championship Monday, which is that's cool.
A bunch of kids you guys are gonna be seeing on television for the next 4 to 14 years.
Yes.
A couple of them you won't be seeing for a couple of years because they're still sophomores.
Yeah.
And
Yep. Yeah. So
unbelievable.
Write down the name Jordan Smith. Just write it down on a piece of paper.
What I was going to say about that is, like, if you've been hanging out with us for 5, 6, 7 years, like a lot of you have, we've talked about a guy named Caleb Williams that we saw as a freshman in our conference, and have a handful of games that we got to call of his and sat sideline for him, and he was special. He did things other people didn't do. The ball came off his hand in a different weird way that is like better than every other person we'd ever seen at that level. So Jordan Smith, I think, to me, and maybe not just to me, but I think he's the Caleb Williams. He's a Caleb Williams type of WCAC athlete. I mean, I think he will be like he's the current Caleb Williams. He does things no one else does. No one else can do. The only thing I'll say is, because he's a sophomore and in basketball it ain't easy. Caleb's otherworldly talents manifested themselves specifically to his position in a way that is crazy. His ability to throw the ball, his ability to play the quarterback position. Jordan Smith is just so raw, athletic-wise. I mean, he's going to be better than he is right now. He's already the guy we're pointing to. But as he gets better at his trade and starts putting,
He just plays on a team that has 1 million stars ahead of him,
true.
and that's because this is the best program in the country right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is. So, I mean, they got 2 guys. Their starting lineup: 2 guys going to Duke, 1 going to Notre Dame, 1 going to UConn, national champs, and 1 going to little old Rhode Island. I
still don't understand that, but
there's 4 other dudes on that bench with Power 5 offers. There's 9 guys going to college for free on one team. Like their practices must be insane. But we did make it. We did make it here.
we did it
today after we survived.
That said, the Washington Commanders offseason trudges on. It's nice. The other thing about having the WCAC tournament at the time that it is, it falls right perfectly in a spot where, I mean, we kind of need it. Like, we've been deprived of live football for, what feels like 1,000 years already. And the free agency doesn't start until how many days? What do we got? 16 days, 17 days?
Yes. 13th, right?
Something like that. Yeah. So,
26.
With a little bit of legal and illegal tampering sprinkled in between now and then. So, anyways, we got an awesome live sports event in the middle of a bit of a desert for us. But it is kind of crunch time. We'll have what, two more shows. Free agency hits right around a Tuesday show for us. So it is upon us.
2 more after this.
Yeah.
And then we'll hit on a Wednesday, I believe at like noon or midnight or whatever the hell it is.
And that's good. We've done I've too many years of where, they're like, you have to be ready to report by the second. I'm like, really? Like no one's counting on Hugs Haven to be Johnny on the spot with second by second. And yet people were doing it. It was kind of crazy.
Well, looks like we're going to be going about this free agency a tad bit different than seasons past from what we heard today.
Salary cap is more than we thought by what, 13 million, something like that?
At least 10, that's what they're saying. But that's everyone got that.
Everyone gets it, but no one's pile started out as high as ours. And we just threw on another 10 mil. I felt like we could go through some position areas that were on the verge of addressing. I know everyone was talking about Peters was on the mics today at the combine.
He was pretty clear,
said
pretty
interesting
blunt.
things.
Yeah. So everyone can take a shot at that. I thought the one thing that stood out to me that I'm going to read volumes into, probably more than I should, because he said it 5 different ways. So I'm only going to pay attention to one of them. He had a special walk with Sam Howell around the park. They got to know each other, and
Special.
I'm loving on whatever that could possibly mean. He did also say multiple times.
That was his word. He used special. I had a special walk with him.
Maybe I might have added a special walk, but
Ken added special.
Okay, thank you.
It seems special to me
because that seemed creepy. So
he was
thank
like,
you for clarifying.
You got it. I mean, I never know what's special to Ken.
They went on a walk.
I don't want Adam Peters to be creepy.
Our GM and our quarterback went on a walk together and got to know each other. But he also said in the same press conference that he's got to find a quarterback.
Yeah,
so
he did. He said, I've got to find a quarterback.
Anyone? What do you guys got?
Well, I just like the fact that he just said, hey, fan base, we're not going to take all of this 90 and spend it like you've seen in years past. It's we're going to do what we do to build a team. We're going to supplement it but we're going to build with the draft. We're going to supplement this team with free agency and build through the draft. And I like it.
Yep.
Set the foundation here. You can't just go out there and willy-nilly miss on a couple free agents. That'll set you back a couple years. So I think they're going to go out there and get the specific ones that they targeted that they need, but I don't think we're going to be winning bidding wars for big-time Pro Bowl type cats. We're going to be going and getting dudes. The neat thing that they talked about was that they gave presentations, the coaching, the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, sat there and they said, let's get on the same page with the staff and the scouts. And now the staff is given direction to the scouts, what we're looking for at every single position. I thought that was brilliant. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. But they just like specific traits and techniques that they're looking for within the framework of Joe Witt's specific defense and Cliff Kingsbury's specific offense. And I just thought that was a really cool way to get things rolling, get things started, get everyone together on the same page.
I thought it was the Cam Curl news that they're not going to franchise tag him, and I think it plays with what you're saying. I don't think anybody's safe right now.
I agree.
There's absolutely nobody safe. They are still trying to work it out, and nobody's been guaranteed.
Well, no one should.
Nothing.
No one should feel safe. I mean, we smell terribly. So
no one's, when you're drafting second because of your record, not because you traded up to draft second, then there's no real core of that outside of 3 or 4 guys. I also like, this is like, might be a classic. I've said it before, especially since we have more money than we had already. You can pull out your calculator and calculate how much money you're allowed to roll from this year to next year. And unless you feel obligated if someone comes along and it's after June 1st and you got to spend the money, you almost might be better off taking the maximum amount from this year to next year, because you already have the most of anyone already. And really start the same. You could apply a similar philosophy to your salary cap space as you do to draft resources. If in fact, they're going to draft back. I thought that, again, reading into the Sam Howell stuff in a way that probably he didn't mean, you promote yourself as a quarterback team at number 2. You sell it as a quarterback spot. You want the world. I think we want the world to believe, whether it's true or not, that we're taking either Drake May or Jaden Daniels at number 2.
His statement could include Sam. Sam
may
be the one that he finds.
Well, I think he's looking for.
Sam Howell, I think, is younger than
Drake May.
And Jaden Daniels. So, I mean, if we're talking about the future and all that stuff, like, but I hear what you're saying. We definitely, it's fine to stand there and say we're going to take a quarterback because you don't want to claim anything else because no one's trading up for anyone else at this point. Like, not at 2.
I believe that.
Not
I believe
at
that.
2. I don't think at 2, but we'll see.
And you don't let anyone know who you like better because you don't know who anyone else likes better. I mean, I think there's somebody in New England who is worried that we're going to take the one that they want. I don't know how they might not be that worried. They might just be a little bit worried, and they might also say we'll take either one. We'll take May or Daniels. I think they're taking one of them, and you could trick them into giving you a second rounder or a future first to flip out, from 3 to 2.
Oh, it's going to be a lot more than that.
I don't disagree.
Oh, no. It's not going to be a 3 or a 2. It's going to be a mountain.
For New England, move it to us.
Well, I'm only saying that because as it is all of ours, best case scenario is to back up a little bit, gain some more draft capital, which we need severely. So that is the pie in the sky scenario.
Pie in the sky is doing it twice.
Well, you can, or if you do it the right way with one team once, and it's like you're looking around at some of these teams. The Falcons seem to have some spots to be able to some bargaining chips. So my point is, if we and then maybe still get our guy and back up, that is the dream right there. So
and also Kevin, if you trade back, let's say New England, Minnesota, Atlanta, 3 spots. I think they're 3, 8, and 10 ish, something like that. In the draft, all those teams allegedly want one of those 2 guys. That fact alone, that's fact number 1 that hooks us up. There's 2 guys available and 3 teams that want one of them allegedly. But you could get. You can move down to one of their spots, get that haul, and
which is going to be a first-round draft pick. You're not switching first and that high without getting an additional first.
At least next year's, if not the next 2 years
that's
first.
That's what I'm saying.
But then you also sit on day 1 of the draft. You sit when it comes to picks 20 to 30, 20 to 32. You have the ability to jump back into the first round with some assets to go grab. Maybe a tackle, maybe whoever you love, and still be and still have a lot of extra stuff. Because we have 2 seconds, we have 2/3. We're gonna net a bunch of picks from this trade down. I'm just saying, and it doesn't cost you as much to move in, to trade back into let's say pick number 25 because you really want the blah 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 who said there's a cornerback sitting there
he was good this year.
He looked really good, and he asked. AGH is officially on. Robert Cohen and a bunch of folks. Andrew.
This is the first time it interrupted the ad. It's the first time I've seen what everyone's talking about.
Yeah.
We're off air right now, and there's an ad for...
Not everyone gets them at the same time. Google has its own... Dude, I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. I liked it better when you could just skip it on the front side.
How does that work with the board then?
They let us know. They check in. They check out.
How do they stay up with...
Middle finger emoji.
They don't lose anything. It just delays. I think.
Weird.
To be honest with you, I don't know how it works. I know we have 4 thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed to First Amendment Sports, take a second to do it now. Hit that button to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up if you are. If you're feeling thummy. We have. I don't know.
I haven't felt thummy in forever.
Robert Cohen, they just lose it. They just lose the show. It could be our best minute of the night, and it's just gone forever. All right, I disagree with that.
Let me promise you this: that last minute was sweet as shit. I swear to God, you guys missed it.
They'll never let us do that again on the internet. The internet said that's the last time you can get away with that.
T, put that away, sir.
I know.
Jesus.
My God.
I'm sorry, it won't ever happen again.
Well, that's a lie.
On air.
Hola, viva la Mexico. Ken Harris, I thought I saw you pop in there for a second.
Kenny!
How about this guy just feeding us? Just feeding us.
Can you hook me up with some of that
this is unbelievable.
sweet Tullamore?
The fish sandwich was, we have to get the lady's name.
All right, so that was the best fish sandwich of all the fish sandwiches he's ever handed me.
Give us the name.
Am I out of line?
It was spectacular.
It was, I don't know. It made me think about my life. Am I doing the right? Am I a good man? Am I going to make it to the next fish sandwich?
It was also on the bun.
It was everything. That's true. And the bun. Lettuce and tomato.
It was hanging all outside of the bun on both sides.
The crisp was crisp. The breading.
It melted in my mouth. It was the best freaking sandwich I've had in a long ass time. It was delicious. I wasn't even hungry. It was spectacular.
And
who's this guy? Data Blender. Wizards suck.
The name of.
They do suck.
That's good. We spit facts around here.
Yeah, you say something true, we're gonna put you on the screen.
There you go, bud. He wins a prize.
Yeah. So last week, Greg Martin was the winner of a Karakpo T-shirt, sir.
Only worn once.
Only worn. I'm not gonna tell you where I wore it. But
I don't even understand it. What does it mean?
What?
He wore that shirt with nothing else, and now he's giving it off as a prize,
like a nightshirt, basically. Like I just shirt cocked. I didn't do an entire day with this shirt.
It was a shirt cocked.
It was a shirt cocked.
I don't understand the shirt.
What? This shirt, Karakpo.
Our defensive ends.
Ebony and Ivory sacking in perfect harmony. Brian Karakpo and Kerrigan.
Sacking.
He came up with that one like right around 3:15 a.m.
This was an Ewald Meringolo old one, and
3:45 probably.
A previously only worn once T-shirt about two guys who haven't played here in a long time, but one's coaching.
I won what now?
Yes.
Fragile. It's definitely imported and from Europe. So we'll do the same thing again. Please, if you're a subscriber to First Amendment Sports and you comment on the board, your name goes into a hat, and you shall get a T-shirt. We have a bunch of T-shirts. Last week, we stuffed T's van full of Mike Loxley T-shirts, but don't worry. There's plenty of those to talk about.
You see me out and about.
We have a lot of those. You know what? I don't know. Like, I feel like throughout, we all know somebody, probably our parents or great grandparents over the course of their lives, who just randomly collected things. You walk into their house and you'd be like, whoa. You went with the lifetime supply of sugar packets. You went with. I didn't realize they sold this particular item in bulk. That's how this thing full of T-shirts. It's like, oh, you got a lot of T-shirts. Nope, you just have one T-shirt 1,000 times.
And my grandmother, for the record, she only bought vodka in bulk.
Yeah, see, now there you go. That's a life lesson.
There's boxes of it.
She was a practical lady.
Yeah, well. After noon, things got real impractical.
The next couple weeks will be fun. We're going to talk about our general manager and front office in action, and let's get started with that. No graphics tonight. I do like to put other things on the screen because then no one can see what we're doing in the background.
Usually when we're not here. So
after the Arakpo shirt cock thing, I don't want to know what you're slapping off that screen when we're not here.
Just for a second, if we just take something off the screen and turn the mics off.
Another sack for Karakpo.
Ken, did you have to also? I know we're not on camera.
He does a little magic trick with his new towel down there.
Can you put the lights back on at least?
There's a reason why they call it the terrible towel. Don't use that one.
Don't. It is. Yeah, that's true. It is true. The position of most need at this point in our lives, I think we've all said all along, was the offensive line, and that could be addressed obviously in both free agency and the draft. Except that free agency is currently, if you listen to people who know more than I do, they're basically saying it's a garbage pile of tackles. Is that that's not
no garbage pile of interior linemen.
Oh, okay.
Tackles,
Gotcha.
Tackles is a decent crop.
Okay, my bad.
But they're saying the interior linemen. And by the way, there's not tons of tackles either.
No, there's not. I don't think there's a lot out there.
No,
it's a pretty weak.
It's not a great year for that. And and this market looks like hell because someone's getting paid. Someone's got to get paid. And
all the good ones, everybody realized we got to lock them up.
Mm-hmm.
So.
There's a couple names out there, a couple interesting guys, and a couple guys that could be breakthrough guys at different levels. You don't have to just cough up 40 a year and sign someone. We're in a rebuild. I know that we're not allowed to say that word, but let's be honest. We're not
rebuild.
Yeah, no one's coming here on a 3-year deal right now for all the monies. We got to set it up for them to want to come.
I don't want the guy who's only coming for the money.
Agreed.
I didn't click on it, but it was a headline that it's possible that Ayuk could get lured here by Peters.
There's no way. Lord here by Peters. I don't think there's any way that they let him go, especially this year. They just franchised T. Higgins in Cincinnati. I think they have the ability to hold on to Ayuk a little bit longer. I think they're going to. I mean, I'll be shocked if he becomes available. You go after him, obviously, but
that kind of player, you're talking that money.
Sure. Listen, I want to improve and get better for next year and do it wisely, and I think that they've taught us that.
But if it's not in the line, don't spend it on the line.
way.
Spend it where
That's
it's
fine.
worth.
That's fine.
we have
As
enough
long as-
money to
as
go
long
to
as-
spread around. Too.
As long as we have a plan set, and we do, we will have a plan on what type of guys we want. Listen, that was the huge thing to me. What character traits, on and off specifically, what type of person is this person? Is the big thing that everyone's talking about. Obviously, the revelation of character is going to be of the utmost importance moving forward with this group of humans because they seem to be doing everything correctly.
Yep.
At least way more professionally than any of us are
I don't
used
think
to.
character was talked about much under the old regime.
Well, no, it was talked about all the time. They just did a terrible job of bringing in. You know, we went through like how many years in a row did we only draft team captains from every college squad?
Within the walls of.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. No,
Inside the
I
walls.
think the game they're talking right now is an old game.
It was a bad word, actually.
Character,
Yes.
integrity.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
There
were a lot of
integrity does not
positive
exist
words
in
that
this
weren't allowed to
dojo.
be used.
No, it's true. But I mean,
Lubrication.
yeah, we drafted team captains, like only team captains, and I mean, and look at all those Super Bowl trophies we now have as a result. So hopefully these guys do a better job of identifying the character traits. We have enough money where, I mean, ultimately we do have positions of need, but we also just freaking need talent. So if we can get a good player or multiple good players with all our monies, as you like to say, then that's what the monies are all about. We can talk about free agent. So that's why I think like if for example, if Peters and the coaches were like this offensive this tackle, if we can get him, that's our top number one whatever in free agency. If we get this guy and he comes in, then now all of a sudden that changes what you do in the draft. And maybe you don't need to draft a left tackle in top 5. Maybe you still do. But I think the free agency comes first, and you try to get talent, and you spend your money to get as much talent as you possibly can. Hopefully, at positions of need, but we just need good football players.
I've been mocking around all over the place, and I will say this: there's 8 tackles. There's 8 tackles that everyone has kind of said
In the first round or in free agency?
ish. The top 8 guys, I guess.
It's the over under in the first round is 7.5,
Right.
and I think that it's tough to bet the over on that. But it's
When it gets to
at
36, they're all gone. You know what I mean?
That's right.
You can't just rely upon if you have one of these guys. And by the way, they haven't even gotten into the whole ranking things. But there's so many creative things, is what I'm saying, that we could do to go get a guy that we've targeted.
Yes.
But I know one thing: if we keep talking about building the draft, well, let's keep an eye out for making moves to get more draft capital on the good guy side.
Yes.
This year now.
Yes.
And then you save that money for when it's time to make that hit, and you've got your target lined up. And this is a clear plan of action. I'm getting kind of excited about it.
Got to get tackle specifically, but offensive linemen, you got to get them right in the draft. You have to pick those guys correctly in the first and second round. Cornerbacks, you have to pick those guys correctly in the first and second round. Obviously, quarterbacks as well. But a couple of those positions, like you said, teams know. I mean, who lets say an all-pro left tackle just go for nothing? I mean, no one does that, do they?
They come up, but it's just
Except
not
for
this
us.
year.
I mean, it
made me so sick.
you don't do it. You don't ever do it. The only way you're going to get the best left tackle for you is through the draft. Like that's it. That's how.
Or if you screw up his medical history. And,
Oh yeah, no, someone else.
Life.
Someone else gets our guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to get corners right. You got to get offensive linemen right. So I think that you spend your money as best you can on players that can come in and contribute right away at a high level, and then whatever that net hauls in, then you go to the draft and you can be creative. I think like that first trade back, if we can pull it off. I think the coolest thing about it is, you could just sit pat and say, okay, hey, we got 2 first-round picks for the next 2 years because we traded from 2 to 8. And that's what it would. We would have 2 first-round draft picks for the next 2 years, plus some other stuff, a 4th round here, a 3rd round there. That would just be our future, and it would be so exciting. And then all of a sudden, an hour later, you could hear them say, the ESPN did and it's like there's been a trade, and we traded a couple seconds in one of those first to jump back up into the middle of the first round, and now all of a sudden we walk away with like a Brock Bowers and like the fourth of those offensive linemen on that list.
This is a dream you had the other night, isn't this?
It's an infinite amount of possibilities. And I'm trying, and I'm me.
And you were wearing just that shirt at the time.
I'm wearing just this shirt at the time.
And next week's giveaway was,
and I wasn't wearing it like this.
Was diapered up down there.
I was diapered it up. You beat me to it.
I know. I knew you were headed. I knew you were headed. I walked in here and you were doing the old floss, and I was like, "What the hell?"
Somebody's flossing. Just a whale tail here in the basement every once in a while is all Kevin likes to see.
I don't like that.
Who's your favorite tackle on the market for free agent C?
The one guy that jumps out, and by the way, he plays both tackles, and by the way, he's played both guards.
Jonah?
No, he does play both tackle spots, but Michael Onwenu from the New England Patriots is all over the place. They don't want to lose him. They know they're going to lose him. They can't afford to sign him, apparently, and that's the determination that I read.
He probably doesn't want to stay.
He is a guy that has tremendous upside and hasn't really hit the ceiling yet, and people are excited about him. That's the type of guy I'm talking about, like a guy like that hopefully his traits fit ours, because they certainly fit up in New England, and they're going to be sad to see him go. I don't know.
Who wouldn't want to go? He's like, hey, who wouldn't want to go from the team that finished so bad they're drafting third to the team that finished worse that's drafting second?
Moving on up.
This is a great move for me.
It will be a great move because his paycheck will increase significantly. And I can see a guy like that wanting to get into a culture and building something, especially while he's in the midst of becoming the player he's about to become. Guys like that, I think those are going to be the stories that we hear about, these guys that we start targeting. Guys with a huge upside but have had a little experience in the league, and people have gotten tape on them, because if we got tape on you, apparently we got 9,000 people hired that are going to be in communication, and that's pretty cool to see.
They still use tape?
E.O. Anderson.
They made a profile tape. I love it with
he wants the
with electricity.
Next week
with electricity. Yes.
They have digital memories. Oh, thank you.
Oh God, the Motel 6 mat. With a shirt laying on the ground, kind of near it, maybe, because we have a lot of shirts. What are you doing in there?
He's gonna help me with my Zin. I totally forgot to put my Zin in for the show,
bro.
It's just zinning.
Just zinning.
All right, so offensive line, free agency. We said my whole goal from the beginning is 3 new starters. 3 new starters on the offensive line, which, by the way, is asking a lot in one offseason. Offensive line, 60% new offensive line. It does happen a lot, but not always. I mean, it's because you have to be so terrible that you're willing to. It's like when you get dealt 5 cards in poker and you're like, 5 more, give me 5 different ones, please.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. So interior line, obviously I want a center, and this isn't the year to be.
You always want a center.
Oh, I've never gotten one.
No.
That's the only thing.
What do you mean? They handed you Nick Gates on a silver platter with your...
I tried to be excited about it.
You did.
I tried so hard.
You got super chubbed up for Nick Gates.
I'm like the kid. I mean,
I was like, I think he had 19 knee surgeries, didn't he? Didn't a dump truck crumble his femur?
And he was the best one we had for at least a while.
Don't worry, because Stromberg to the rescue. I don't even write these guys' names down in the 2 deep right now. Like, do you think these guys really want those 2 guys? Like, I don't know. Stromberg, who knows? He got hurt, but whatever. We'll see. Nick Gates, that wasn't fun to watch. His turnstile offensive strategy.
And there's Daniels, who's hurt too. We don't know anything about that.
Well, that's what I like. And I don't think he was hurt. I think he was always destined to be
a project,
red-shirted and brought along. Let's keep him. That's why I love that we don't know anything about him, and I want to keep him. I know nothing bad about you. You can stay.
He's the only guy that's safe.
Because we know nothing about you, sir.
When we say no one's safe,
how's your character though?
You can use some salary cap space to eat some dead money too this year. I know that's not the way you want to do it. It's not preferable, but it's a 1-year hiccup. If you really want to push the reset button on the offensive line, I
don't think we have any option.
But you could pull back so you could get rid of some guys and contracts that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to. You wouldn't have considered doing if you weren't literally at ground zero, the year 1 AD. Actually, do we have that still here? We need to get that on there. There it is.
What?
let's put that on the screen. You're in the year 180. You hit the reset button. We used what 15 million dollars of our salary cap space on dead money. And then essentially you're basically it's a bookmark for $15 million for the following year. And that's the way I see it. I mean, I'm not saying, hey, Peters, tell me how you're going to win the Super Bowl this year. Definitely not. I'll take a 4 or 5 year view on this. Take a 3-year view on this. I mean, if you ate $15 million of dead money this year to get rid of guys like Wiley or Gates or whatever, just fill in the name of somebody who you could keep because he's a pro, but you didn't really like watching as a pro. That's 2 out of the next 3 years where you have $15 million to spend on somebody that you're probably going to like better than both of them.
And it would be fantastic if we could Cosme Wiley into the other guard spot. That could be
yes.
Great. Honestly, he was a better guard in Kansas City. He was a better guard his whole life. He was a right tackle out of necessity for Kansas City, and we brought him in as one. He's not that. Bring him in. Hopefully he can improve at that spot underneath this new regime. But if we can do that, that gives us a little bit of option. You know what I mean?
The board likes the Denver Center.
Like who?
The Denver Center.
The Denver Center, is that Lloyd Cushenberry?
I think Cushenberry. It's
last time there was a Lloyd in Colorado. I'm not sure, man. I'm just saying, dude, there's a lot going on with this.
He's got a Cushenberry for the Tushenberry.
Well,
and I think
to be fair, like there's only a couple names that people can even churn out, and apparently he's improved, but he's another guy with a ceiling. Like he's gotten better, and I think he can improve still, and I like that. But once again,
who do you like?
I read that today, so the name Lloyd Cushenberry meant nothing to me yesterday evening.
I think is it double L Lloyd, right?
It sure is.
It better be a double L Lloyd.
I hope he's got a little Chezade going. Caesar.
I like that. I mean, I think a double L Lloyd at center definitely brings a little touch of class. We talked about the touch of class this weekend.
We did.
We've been missing a touch of class here
Did you
in
just
Washington.
have a butt slip up, by the way?
Yes, I didn't want to be the one who said it. But
He did. He
it
called
was a butt
you
slip.
out on your butt slip.
Well, I had a butt slip.
You just had a butt slip. You
Was a
said
butt
he had a butt on.
Yeah, but then when you went another way, but the first word was butt.
What on?
I don't know. We were talking about Lloyd Cushenberry's butt for a second, for a super quick second.
None of this is true.
I know. We have to go to the videotape.
What did Ken say to the young man putting his butt?
I was trying to say belt
It was
buckle.
like an Eddie Murphy song. I
came
was
out
like, what the
butt.
hell's going on, dude?
He put his first championship. What are you gonna do?
He took that trophy and shoved it right up his anus. We're at mid-court at American University at a packed house.
There. Whatever you do,
It's
always the last. It's always the last place
we
you
had
look.
a camera on you and me because I think we both.
I watched you, and I didn't even know what I said because I knew I was saying belt buckle, but I didn't know it came out butt.
Oh God!
I didn't help
did.
you out by saying,
Oh, it's great.
Where did he put
Yeah,
it?
where did he put it? I don't know. I say dumb stuff a lot, but that's why I
2 butts
come in with these
to
guys.
none, so
Yeah, 3 butts makes
keep it that way.
right. I guess I don't know.
Kevin Dotson from the Rams.
That's your guy.
Connor Williams from Miami.
So wait, we've
That's
also
the
said
guy that jumps out.
these guys are going to get overpaid because
They certainly are.
because the market is shitty and they're the ones who are going to get paid.
And a lot of these, the franchise is way better to invest your money in the offensive and defensive line. Well, of course it is. But if it's a shitty year, your guys are screwed. So we're screwed. How about this? Adam Peters and Lance Newmark, our new assistant GM that everyone's raving about from Detroit. You guys got some work to do up front. And you know what? We got the right guys for the job. And it's fun to sit here and mention a few names of guys that we don't know who the hell they are or how good they are. But when someone writes something about them that fits something that we think would work here,
Oh, please.
there's a lot of Valentines going on.
They're
here.
doing they know my game. They know the way of my heart. It's to lie to me like I'm a 3-year-old about how good our offensive line is going to be next year with these no-name terrible guys. 2 words: Andrew Norwell. I believe he set the guard market in his contract before us. He didn't play terribly. He was a good.
Excuse me.
What did I call? Is it Norwood? Norwell? Did I call it?
Norwell.
Norwell, yeah.
You said it right.
I said it right. Okay, yeah. He was a guy who
He sucked.
I know, but before he came to us, the contract before us, he became a free agent, and it was a similar situation as this, and a bunch of guys who no one had ever heard of, except for like their grandparents, got paid tens of millions of dollars to play guard and everyone's like, "What the hell?" Andrew Norwell was one of those guys, and he ended up with us. So I know we have the money to spend, but maybe we just take a little bit more in the gift card, Price is Right style, and Wheel of Fortune style, at the end, and not overpay for a terrible guard. To me, that would be depressing. If we get to like week 3 and we just signed someone because we had the money and he's a turnstile in the interior.
I think what they're showing us is that is not going to be the formula moving forward. That if there is going to be a situation like that, we're going to play the younger guy, get him experienced from the draft or someone that we signed to be a stopgap at a lower price. I think we figured out these guys have an idea about the economics of this sport. Our old guys are in there half tanked in the bag, freaking throwing darts at freaking players' faces.
They're looking at a long-term plan here. There's not going to be a whole lot of one-year deals anymore. There's, none of the guys that are here now are long-term in the plan.
It's our dream scenario. All these 31 other billionaires. Nobody wants to rebuild, and everyone hates that word just because maybe they mean they can't sell as many tickets. Who the F cares? No one wants to do it because they think, I can just buy this guy and buy that guy. New owner, new coach, new everything, brand new, a clean slate. They get $75 million. They can literally hit the easy button and just start over, and no one's going to say a dick to them about it because they get to do it, and there's total freedom in it. So. I mean, we don't have to make any decision because
$5 for one of you to say just the word "dick" when you meet Josh Harris.
I'm going to bring up the re-engorgement of the franchise. That's what I was always going to say. And I appreciate you re-engorging the franchise.
So I go with this for the handshake? Is am I going this? Is it like are we thumb wrestling?
I know me and my friends have been re-engorged.
You gotta re-engorge the whole situation.
You do, and I think that's what they're doing.
Well, the bandwagon needs to be re-engorged, that's for sure. If you can, like, I mean, no one likes to do it, but this owner in other sports, like, that's the other beauty of it. He's been a sports owner in two of the other majors, and he's shown the willingness to say, "Hey, we got to start over." And not everyone liked what he did in Philadelphia with the process. Not everyone liked what he's sometimes did in New Jersey with the Devils. But he has at least said, guys, like, we can just keep putting Band-Aids on the Titanic, but we need a new ship. And so that's another cool thing about our situation.
How's that working out for those teams?
You know what? Philadelphia now has NBA Finals expectations on an annual basis. That's a new thing. They get disappointed in the playoffs, and that's fine. I'd love to be disappointed in the playoffs.
He's put them in a position to be successful.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's all you can ask from the owner. And now it's up to the coach and staff and players. Right. And I like that because Philly is in a good spot. And it was an ugly way to get there. But now that fan base, completely re-engorged. I mean,
they're so engorged.
They went through some lean years just like we have. And now, like you said, the expectations. How about they're a factor in town now? You know who's not a factor right now? The Wizards. That was mentioned earlier.
Yep.
Just not a factor in town. I can't wait. We've always been a factor. It was just so sad.
Yeah.
And now there's a light. There's a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel.
What's the franchise? We're not franchising Cam Curl. I know. What's the franchise number on safety? Is it like 10 million?
17.17.
So it's more. It's that much more than running back. First of all, that's
after the bump.
I think the running back franchise is like 12. Is that I could be check?
I mean, it may
check
be
me on that.
They're not valued right now.
Safeties or running backs?
Running backs.
I understand. And yet, on game day, they're one of your 2 or 3 best players on the field, and one of the 2 or 3 best athletes who are suiting up for you, and they're going to get hit the hardest, and they're gonna work the hardest.
And coaches see them gone.
I know.
2 years.
I know.
That's the deal.
It's not a long game for them.
How about this? Austin Eckler. In year 8, now he's lost his burst, his speed. But he's going to go on a series of 1-year deals because teams are going to love to have a guy like that. He's just not the same dude. He's 29 years old. Doesn't it seem like he's been around a long time?
Yes.
So the shelf life for these guys, and obviously in this day and age, these guys are growing up. And I don't want to sound like an old fogey here, but these guys are growing up playing on turf. They're playing on surfaces that are just different. The pounding's different. The athleticism's different. Like
Yep.
the off-season workout regimen is different. These guys' bodies are being put to the ultimate test. They have to have these bodies prepared to get through a season. But these off-seasons are really taking a toll on a lot of these guys, especially at the running back position, getting your body ready to take that brutal punishment. So that's the factor there. And I know what you're saying about game day, and they're always going to be of the utmost importance.
Yeah.
But due to the nature of the beast, that position has been just mauled financially.
Safety was always a undervalued, sneaky, like the franchise tag on safeties was less than 10 million, like 1 or 2 years ago. It was like 8 or 9 million. I mean, obviously, everything's going up, and the top 5 guys are going to be the top 5 guys. But I, hell.
Oh, hell.
We got the money. There's really no reason why we wouldn't sign Cam Curl to a contract. He's one of the best players available. We need him, and he should stay.
Maybe you didn't hear that he also had a special walk with Cam.
What?
Adam Peters got in there, been in touch.
Done.
We're on a getting to know each other phase.
By the way, that should be a show. Just Adam Peters just like walking around talking to somebody.
Jill Scott song on in the background.
Yes.
I tend to not like shows about guys just walking around.
I went on a walk today.
It's just,
Got to know Sam Howell really good. He told me all his fears.
God damn, you sing like an angel. You talented son of a bitch.
Hey, did we get that? Did we get that in the booth? Let's lay that down. Let us lay that down. All right, where else are we going? Where else are we going?
Well, I just read something I have to say it out loud.
Okay, what do you got?
Well, Robert Cohen said, First Amendment Sports, re-engorging from the basement since 2015. That is just now.
Spitting
I think we found our new
fast,
T-shirt.
sir.
I think we found our new T-shirt,
Yep.
T. I'll be riding out of here with a box full of those in a year and a half.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, are you kidding me? Do you sell those by the thousand? Because we're in.
Bro, can you grab one of them re-engorgement
It's
joints?
a genius idea.
Things are hot, baby.
Everyone's going to be
Flying
wearing
off
these
the shelf.
T-shirts. Everyone's going to be wearing them. Sir.
I think if we package it with the old, marketing strategy, you get re-engorged the first second you put it on.
Yeah.
I've had to explain to my mom what the year 1 AD has meant for like 4 or 5 times. How many times do you think I'm going to have to explain that one to her?
I don't know, but you're going to have 1,000 of those shirts of explaining to do.
All right. Thank you, Robert Cohen.
We're keeping Cam Curl. That's your first bold prediction, not so bold prediction of the offseason. Let's go to another spot. How about, for example, I don't know, is linebacker still a position in this league?
Do we have any?
Do we have a linebacker?
We have one.
I think we have some people who
Does he get his whole room?
identify
Does he get a
as
whole
linebackers.
room?
He is chilling right now. Jamin Davis is
He's
just,
kinda-
he is lounging in that linebacker room.
I mean, I thought about. I still have some eligibility. I was thinking about it.
What was the report on Keandre Jones?
Oh, yeah, he's in there. We signed him last week. Good
Local
counsel.
boy,
Yeah,
good counsel,
high school,
WCAC
guy.
product.
He's going to be a guy that's going to compete as a special teams guy and a fringe backup. Yeah, and a terp and a great guy. Everyone around here loves him. I'm happy about that. But we're going to need a guy like Patrick Queen if we're really going to start tackling fools. We talked about him last week, but
Yes.
I want a guy. We need a guy on defense, a legitimate dude.
I guess so. You bring in Joe Witt. You got Dan Quinn is the ultimate
He'll find him.
sales factor. I mean, because Pat Queen is once again that guy. I mean, he has to want to come here. He's getting his money from somebody. Like wherever he goes, he's getting paid. He's not worried about getting paid. He's getting his money. He gets to pick where he goes. There's always a handful of those guys, and I always say that guy has to want to come here. That guy hasn't wanted to come here for a while. How do we get Patrick Queen to want to come here? Or is it just Dan Quinn and the freshness of 1 AD and the re-engorgement, or what do you got?
And the monies. And the
money. I mean, does it
In
take
the
a couple extra
room,
million?
The room in the linebacker room, it's a lot of room. You can stretch out.
He's basically like.
Hold up.
all his.
Did anyone mention the name Ken Norton Jr.?
Okay, there you go. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
I didn't go that far down the depth chart.
Pardon me, but I'm re-engorging.
Yes.
I forgot about Ken Norton Jr. being our
Here we
linebacker
go.
coach for a brief
We should
moment.
have like a boxing mentality at the middle of our defense.
How about a guy that's done it at the top of at that position and won 2 Super Bowls in back-to-back years for 2 separate franchises? If you want to talk about switching franchises and having success, well, we got our guy.
I want to go.
We got a guy for you.
Yeah.
We've done a good job. I mean, we had a linebacker from the '85 Bears as our head coach. We had a linebacker from I don't know. I know Del Rio played in Dallas, but did he play in Jacksonville also? Let's call him a Jaguar.
You call him whatever you want to
call him. Whatever I want to call him. But
Tiger.
So we're staying in the studly linebacker business. I think you have to have a guy on your coaching staff who played linebacker in a mean and nasty way in the league, or else you have no chance of winning in this. Let's just say that. I mean,
did.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Thank you. You can also have that guy and not win. We've done that too. That's also a fact.
I feel terrible about the whole re-engorged thing with your dad being on all night. Now, I'm totally embarrassed.
No,
I'm not. You know why? Because I'm not.
No, he's he has the late. What is it? Here you
The
go.
next meeting may
There's
be a little awkward at first.
If not for this term, none of us would be here.
Yeah, it's true. This is true.
Yeah, build the
Facts.
line. Build the
Facts
line,
again.
Tom
Facts.
Marangolo.
Facts all night long.
First Amendment sports.
racking them up, dude.
See, you can't be
Hard
worried
hitting.
about re-engorgement because he mentioned the Hogs.
Oh my God. Well, you can't mention that, but never mind. You guys don't know how it works.
So all right. So linebacker, who do you want besides Patrick Queen?
Who's available?
Well, how about this? I'll ask you this.
Yep.
Because he's extremely talented. He's going to cost a couple monies, and he also has got some, there's a few question marks, but Devin White down in Tampa Bay has been kind of a dude.
I'll take him all day. To me, he's London Fletcher, Ken Harvey. He's that guy who comes in late in his career for a second life and potentially has a good 4 or 5 year run.
I don't
for
think
us.
this front office is looking for second lifers.
But he's only 26 years old.
Yeah,
he's just on a second contract that everyone else his draft class. That's all.
They got a lot of.
But the question mark is that he got benched last year and had some issues with the head coach. So that's the
character.
There could possibly be, or maybe it was personality. Who knows? Maybe he was just having a sad day. Maybe it was just over a girl. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
maybe he didn't get a walk in with the GM that day.
I hear they're popular.
It happens.
But the guy is an absolute unit. He's a dude on the field. He's a man amongst men, and we've seen him. And we played against him in the championship 2 years ago. In the playoffs 2 years ago with Taylor Heineke. He was dapping our guys up after plays. You could just see that was the type of guy loving football.
Yep.
He was in the spotlight out there in his element, and he was a badass on the field that day and that season. And now he's had some stuff happen. I don't know. That's why I posed it to you guys and the board. Does Devin White fit here? If he checks all the boxes,
I say yes. And we've watched a lot of football together at every possible level, all the way down to Pee Wee, all the way up to NFL. There's 22 guys on the field at any given time, and there's always one or two guys who are in charge of the in between the whistles. There's all 22 guys.
The officials.
Besides the officials, there's 22 guys who know who the best one or two players on the field are, who know who's in charge, who know they're deferring to these guys, and Devin White's one of those guys. When he's on the field, it's his field. There's guys like that. I mean, I watched a game this on the NFL Network's been running these like random marathons. They've been packaging them up. It's like the offensive player of the year, the defensive whatever, and they'll throw like 4 or 5 straight games, and so you just throw them on in the background. And I was watching a Tampa Bay game from week whatever 5 or 6. I mean, dude, if he's on the field, he shows up. I mean, he's flashing. He's getting to the ball, and he's doing what you said, Kevin. And it's like it's the body language between plays. I mean, he's not scared of anyone. Everybody, he knows he's the leader of an 11-man army. I would love to have a guy like that on my squad. I hope that someone like that would consider coming here. And it's also driven largely by the fact that Patrick McQueen is still my first choice, but we need more than just one more linebacker.
Is Patrick McQueen? Did he recently transfer to Ireland? Is he now?
He's going to be McQueen.
He put that Mac on the front of that Queen
because of Patrick. I don't know many Patricks that don't have a Mac.
He's been an American his whole life, but he just transferred to the Irish
When you have a guy named Patrick, it's either Patrick O'Queen or Patrick McQueen.
I mean, listen, we're only weeks away from St. Patty's, but I'm just saying. Oh, Patty McQueen.
Ooh, Patty McQueen.
He certainly fills up the middle, doesn't he? Oh.
Ooh, another pint for Patty.
Oh, he's
this
a fucking
round's
beast.
on Patty.
Oh, that motherfucker.
I did that.
Patty McQueen.
Try it.
Maybe if we sign him on St. Patrick's Day, I mark my words, I'm getting drunk on whiskey that day. You heard it here first.
All right. Well, I already had that.
And if he does it, what are you going to do?
Yeah, please have some Mo.
I think we all know the answer.
AGH, sorry about the ads. I'm going to look at this, but I also want to know what the ad was. Is it something that you would buy? I'm hoping that it was. And if it is, I don't want you to tell us if it's embarrassing. Don't tell us what it was. It's something about Patty McQueen. Patty McQueen undergarments.
And no more. Remember, we got in trouble when we said "wee bit of the Irish."
Don't do the wee bit.
When Keegan's wife called and said that was embarrassing for Keegan.
A guy from Wales, and he's having to hear a whole Irish conversation. We're sorry.
I'm sorry. With a terrible accent.
What would be his Welsh? What would be his Welsh name?
Horrible.
What's Patrick Queen's Welsh name? He's a warrior poet. I know that much. All right. So let's get away from. We're not going defensive line out of the gate. How about this? How about tight end? Is there? I've been saying this, and I'll continue saying it. This group, since T brought up Eugene Chen, and I'm glad you did. Him and Adam Peters, they believe in getting your tight end in the draft. When we were talking about running backs and the short shelf life, to me, it's two positions. It's running back and tight end. Tight ends get the crap beat out of them for, between the knee and like the midsection. They're constantly turning around, getting the ball, and getting destroyed by safeties and linebackers.
Between the knee.
They're also delivering some,
just like right in this area here.
They get their share of delivering.
It's true, but they're 6'5", 6'6".
It's the ultimate, like...
They're getting crunched.
It's the ultimate dual role position on offense.
But the numbers show...
It is a man's position.
Yeah, the numbers show the running back and the tight end, they're taking the brunt of the bashing.
You need
closer
a
to the midsection.
They're fringe guys. And it's not just from the knee to the nuts. It's all over the place.
It's everywhere.
All over the place. They are fringe guys. They have to mess around with those D linemen a little bit too much for the wide receiver running back's liking.
And you got it. I think it's the
you
position
need a badass.
more than any. That's exactly what I was going to say. You need someone with like a screw just a little bit loose.
Yeah.
That's why you look at a guy like Travis Kelce, Rob Gronkowski, two of the best ones to do it in the last few years. They got a screw loose. But when they get on the football field, they're afraid of nothing, and they take the kind of hits that take other people out of the game, and they walk back to the huddle and rub some dirt on it. It's not normal. The best tight ends are not normal
name
dudes.
the best. Like, just name some of the best.
Well, Kelce.
Not even just now, just in history.
Well, I think Kelce and Gronkowski in history
badasses.
Yeah.
I hate
Tony
I hate to
Gonzalez
say
was
it,
an absolute 20-year badass
Yep.
freak athlete in this league. There's
Kellen Winslow, if you want to go all the way back.
Gates.
he's the OG. Gates was awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bavaro.
Fred Davis, obviously.
It might be time for us to get a serviceable guy in there, especially, I know we save a couple bucks if we get rid of Logan, but Logan, I think, like, because of the reason we're talking about, there's not many of these dudes. I think we may hang on to him.
This could be like a Super Troopers, the guy in the backseat eating the whole bag of everything kind of scenario.
But here's three names that I only wrote down three that were interesting. So we can, Dalton Schultz, who's just gotten it done forever.
Tight end name.
Houston would be morons to let him go. I think they keep him.
Well, I mean, it's not. It's up to Dalton at this point.
That's right.
He's a free agent, and you got Hunter Henry, who's done it a long time, and kind of in New England.
Who I loved when he was with the Chargers, and he got exposed.
He's on the back nine. It's the sun is setting, and we'll see. But Noah Fant, who came out of the gate swinging and was kind of a badass, is kind of slowed down.
He was a
first
round tight end,
and he's kind of just been hidden now.
He was part of the Russell Wilson
because
trade.
Of their scheme?
I think it's it might have something to do with personnel, because when he came into this league, him and his teammate from Iowa, they were two of the best tight ends that first half of the season, and out of all the rookies. Fant's name hasn't been mentioned.
No,
fantastic. I like that too.
Whoa.
Noah Fant was fantastic.
Fantastic.
But I thought so too. An interesting name to throw out there.
First of all, you probably the best teams have two, and not necessarily two name guys, but two guys who can play tight end at a high level. I mean, even you look at Kansas City, they had Fortson. They actually had three guys who could catch balls from the tight end spot. Tight end is one of the most important positions in the modern NFL. Kevin loves a good tight end. If you have two guys, I think one of those guys for us is going to be a draft pick, because I think, again, since T brought him up and I didn't finish that, Peters and Shen, they say go get your tight ends in the first and second round. I think they're going to shock us.
First and second round I get, but this dude from Colorado State that I watched this year, transfer from BYU, Dallin. I can't say his name. He's a married dude. He's a Mormon married dude that just like has focused on football for like 2 years. He was awesome this year. He was awesome. He's going to be a guy available in like a 4th, 5th round. That's kind of I think you might want to get your first guy but a guy like that you could turn into someone. You know, he's not George Kittle. He is not. He's not that. He's not that. Adam
but he's
Peters.
Also not that Brazilian dude that we drafted a couple years ago who never made it on the field.
We drafted a Brazilian dude. God damn. God damn.
I mean, that's where we've been, and we all were like,
basketball player.
What's his name? Reyes.
Yeah, Reyes.
And we're all like, hey, this guy is built like an Adonis. He's going to be a great tight end. And we're like, well, you know, he mostly plays soccer and volleyball.
Out for Gonzalez and Gates.
Yeah, it did. It worked out for Gates. For Antonio Gates was it? But he wasn't. Well, obviously, it didn't work out for Reyes here in the league. But I think this team, this front office, and I don't think we're drafting a running back, but running back and tight end, because of what I just said, they get hurt. You got to be paid. You got to get them on their rookie deal, 4 good years of a good 22 to 26-year-old running back and tight end. I think that's the maximum value that these guys see in the draft, and they will. This group will draft a running back in the first round, I think, in the next few years, and they will draft a tight end in the first round in the next few years. I just think that's what they believe. I think that, you know, and those guys, you said it, you both said it. You don't go out and pay Saquon Barkley the $20 million his numbers say he's worth, because franchise tag for a running back is only 12. And he's effed. Austin Eckler, all these guys. But if you're paying Saquon Barkley $4 million a year for 4 years, you win. You know, that's the rookie deal. So I think I think you will see these guys draft a running back and a tight end in the first round in the next few years. We'll see. I don't think it's going to happen this year. I hope it doesn't, because I want the offensive lineman. But Brock Bowers is there. It's just since we're talking about it,
he's a dude.
If we trade back to the Atlanta, Minnesota range in the bottom of the top 10, first of all, I do think Brock Bowers is gone before then. But if he's sitting there, I would not put it past Peters to take a Brock Bowers in the first in that spot.
I hear you. I'm not. Listen, I want. It's fun to pick. Best player available is also cool.
It's also
right
cool.
now.
Yep.
Who can argue what we should do that way? Just go get some good ass players. However you want to do it.
That's right.
Wherever you want to do it. That's why you guys are all here.
Yep.
That's why we're all here talking about it. Get it done. It's going to be exciting to talk about, though. The possibilities are not like in past. We're not drafting an all-star team. We're not dissecting, well, 25% goes here. No, we're actually forward-thinking. We're going to be doing this correctly. And guys like Eugene Chen dissecting who we should draft in the first and second round, that knowledge is something that we haven't had anything remotely close to.
No.
We have not dallied in that field at all.
Yeah.
We haven't even messed around with it.
I mean, we're talking about a guy who delivered a presentation at Stanford saying, just so you know, you have to get a running back in the first round. You have to get a tight end in the first round in order to get the best running back tight end value over a 4-year period. He's like, that's just, that's what that was his thesis. That was his thesis. But
what kind of statistics and numbers were Turd Burglar and Vinny Serrato swinging around, spitting back at each other?
Well, they were spitting back some things at each other. That's a fact. But in terms of
after
numbers,
12 whiskeys,
they were
right.
I mean, they were going to ESPN, and they were seeing the top ranked free agent on the board, and they packed a Brinks truck full of money and drove it to that guy's driveway. Speaking of T, if you watched Adam Peters today and you saw him talking into the microphone to people, first of all, he's a general manager, and you can't believe anything anyone who says who's a general manager for the next 2 months. That's the job. They're supposed to be tricky. But you know what he didn't come off as? An asshole. He didn't. You know what he didn't come off as? Smug.
He comes
arrogant.
off as the nicest bastard I've ever met in my life. He's like the sweetest, kindest-hearted man.
I mean,
He
for
loves to
God's
take walks,
sake.
apparently.
He takes walks.
Is it
with
Nikki
people.
Jablava? Is it Nikki?
Nikki, yeah,
He was like,
Jabala.
Jabala. He's like, hey, how's it going, Nikki? Hey, and he's calling everyone by the friend. I'm like, why is this guy so fucking nice?
Yeah, dude. I mean, Bruce Allen and Vinny Serrato, probably because they knew how terrible jobs they were doing. They hit the microphones. They got to the podium, and it was like David Spade in a Hollywood Minute on Saturday Night Live. Like they were just trying to beat someone to the punch before someone pummeled them. They were just so smug, so arrogant, so terrible.
Well, no one dripped worse than Allen.
It was. I mean, and we tried to love it. We tried so hard to love local guy coming back home, his dad's team, blah 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 blah. I mean, they were assholes. They were just assholes. So the first thing I noticed today, as I was watching him talk, and I'm reading into what I want to hear. I know that's the beauty of March talk in the NFL. Early March talk is everyone can hear whatever they want to hear, and no one's right. But he wasn't an asshole. I mean, how hard is that? Like that, like that's what we're reporting today. Our reporting on our franchise is our guy's not an asshole. And it's a new day.
We're way less asshole-ish.
Yes,
it's true.
It's
now
awesome.
Rivera helped usher in a bit of the less assholeness. He did. Mm-hmm. That's the one thing that he did do is he brought in some character guys. They just weren't very good coaches.
Mayhew's not an asshole. Hurley's not an asshole. These guys, but the faces of our terribleness under.
I love my asshole asses gets to be a part of who else is an asshole in this conversation. Like, oh yeah, that's
that guy.
I know that's right. Wait, hold on. What did I say?
We were talking about tight ends.
Well, how would we all know who all the assholes are like instantly?
I mean, we've become experts at it. A lot of video. What else? Where else? Any other guys you have circled? I mean, we
anywhere.
We traded.
Tight end,
we traded 2 top edge rushers. You'd think we at least would have interest in potentially bringing someone in there.
I have one name. One name, and this is for all of us here. And this is a guy. His name is Dorrance Armstrong.
Dorrance Armstrong.
So he was the 3rd or 4th defensive end, depending on the package, in Dallas for our guy last year. He was a project. He learned underneath Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn brought him from relative anonymity to he is a dude that they say is extremely, the quote, overqualified to be a 3rd or 4th guy.
Sure.
He needs to be a starter for someone. And what better team than us looking for an upstart without having to spend a shit ton at the edge position? A guy that has been with Joe Witt and Dan Quinn as a prospective guy. These are the type of guys I think that we're going to really, really uncover with our wealth of knowledge. And this guy, this is one of the names that popped out to me today thinking that would make some effing sense. He's a high ceiling guy. They've brought him along themselves, specifically developed a relationship with him, the 2 guys that we have rolling and controlling the dough right now. Guys like that is who we're looking for.
This is like Revenge of the Nerds panty raid style. Like we're just going into Dallas and we're just like we know where everything is. We're opening the doors and it's like Poindexter and they're just running down the hallway. They're like, "Oh, I got it." They set up the cameras in the showers. Everything we got, all of it is happening right now. We're absolutely destroying them.
I'm guessing you're the donger in this scenario because the final thing is that, listen, Dorrance Panty Raid Armstrong could very well wind up
Dorrance
in town.
Panty Raid Armstrong. You hered it here first.
When he gets here, the text going out, that will be the best
How many
nickname.
T-shirts can we... we're going to need 10,000 Dorrance Panty Raid.
No.
How many T-shirts?
No. In this day and age, we fast forward to forethought. We get panties.
Panties.
That say Dorrance on the front.
Everybody wear your Dorrance Panty Raid Armstrong.
But we wear them on the outside of our jeans. And then we all go to the stadium.
Terrible panties. We the terrible panty swirl.
No, you don't wear them on your head. You don't wear them on your head like a surgical mask.
This is the product of a lack of sleep.
Yes, we've been courtside.
Are we sure we don't want to do a giveaway for
I mean, I'm not sure.
A panty mask?
Dorrance panties?
a Dorrance Armstrong panty mask. He doesn't even know he's playing here yet.
You got to trust the
Wait till he
signs.
shows up
Trust
for
the signs.
week 3 free giveaway in the parking lot.
I can just see Joe Buck now. I'm getting word in my ear that they're not wearing masks. They're wearing panties on their faces here in Washington.
I thought you were going to say you saw him smothered in Dorrance Armstrong.
Oh my God.
Are they scratching
Stop.
sniffs? Okay,
Stop.
never mind. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Let's move on.
You're going to have to ask Dorrance.
Let's move on. He gets to negotiate his own panty raid deal. Well, you have air raid. That could be. We could have a panty raid defense. Our panty raid defense might actually be worth the price of admission. Free agency.
That's actually marketable.
We're gonna use
Now
t-shirts.
that's what I just almost said.
The panty raid defense, like Mike, who was the air raid? Was that Coryell initially, early? But Mike Leach didn't make it.
I am trying not to
Leach
say what I want to say.
started it.
Yes.
Huh?
It's Leach.
Mike Leach started the air raid offense, right? And then we started the panty raid defense. That's what I'm talking about. That's so
With the Muff Bronco front, it was always
the
devastating.
Muff Bronco front and the panty raid defense. Oh God, can you order 1 million T-shirts at once? Because we need to.
How do you signal in the donger from the sideline? Let's run the donger.
Just with Lamar with the
God.
limp wristed javelin throw.
Oh God, the aerodynamic staff.
All right.
But that's what I feel like that's what I feel like our staff is now. We can engineer a Lamar javelin.
I agree.
That's the kind of guys we have in the back of the house making choices like that. We're going to put guys in the right position to succeed. Bring it on, Lamar.
All right, so next week we'll have a little bit of a better look of what people are starting to say, and I actually think there'll be another name or two on the slate.
We're probably just going to talk about panties a lot.
We're gonna next week we're gonna whiteboard that panty raid defense. We're gonna know where everyone's gonna be. Maybe you know what? Maybe we don't need any linebackers. Maybe we just need a lot.
Never wind up in this region.
Buffalo nickels.
Ever. No. Did you just say a roll of Buffalo nickels?
We're gonna need a roll of
Did
Buffalo
they roll
nickels.
those up back then?
It's about a half a roll. It's gold, Jerry. Thank you, NES. We appreciate you. I'll put Greg T-shirt on the way in the hopper. We got the board tonight. I'll get you guys in the hopper as well. We'll announce the winner for next week. Guys, free agency is almost here, and so at Hogs Haven for 12 years, we had this one graphic. It was it was the Jerry Maguire money flying through the air graphic, and we put Snyder in there. I'm excited because it's not like we're putting Dan Snyder in one of those cash booths where he's just trying to get whatever he can. I think they are going to be going about this a little bit differently, and I'm excited to see how the free agency pans out, because it will drive our draft board and our draft decisions. And I'm wondering what just a little teeny look ahead to the draft. Do you take a great offer to trade up in the draft before 24 hours before the draft? You know what I mean? Like there could be people, there could be someone saying, "Hey, listen, I don't want to wait till draft day. I know what it'll cost on draft day. I'll give you a 25% less, and I'll do it right now. And you can move down to number 5, and we get to be number 2, or whatever that is."
The only reason to do that is to make your second move 24 hours before
that's exactly
the draft.
What I would hope for. But I know it doesn't happen. That's not a normal move. GMs don't like to do anything. They have to be the smartest guys in the room all the way up until draft day.
I know this about this regime. We will be prepared way more than we ever have been for a scenario like that to arise, or any other situation to present itself. With the background we've got right now and the bases that we're trying to cover, it's not going to be 3 drunks waiting for the phone to ring. Like, yes, is it Atlanta?
I'm not here.
Atlanta?
I'm not here. I'm not here. Don't.
That was one of the greatest. I was never here. Honestly.
Never here. That was my thing. As soon as if I hear an old school phone ring, like you can do an old school phone ring on your cell phone. The first thing I think of is I'm not here. I say it out loud. I'm not here. I don't even know what that means anymore. And I didn't. And also we would say it was a not it. Right?
You can't take your cell phone and be like, I'm not here.
I'm not here. Jerry,
or can you?
You can. You totally can. I know my dad is on the board, and they hate it. When I went to college, you had one landline.
Earmuffs, Mr. Meringolo.
No.
Earmuffs.
The phone would ring, and no one would want to answer it. So it would, hit not it, and last person who, it's old school. You got to answer the phone. So I brought that home to my 3 younger siblings and the family of 6, a landline back in the days when there were no cell phones, and the phone would ring, and my parents, finally had almost adult children that could do a lot of that around the house stuff, including answer the phone. All of a sudden, the phone would ring. We would all yell, "Not it!" And my mom would be like, "God damn it, guys! Someone answer the phone!" I'm not answering the phone. You answer the phone, and the 4 of us would stare at each other, and I'm like, "I'm not doing it."
We fought to answer the phone.
Okay.
But then all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
Well, then we bought the cordless.
Well, we had the cord that was like 80 feet. Well, you could go down, wrap yourself around the neighbor's house.
You did have a cord that could go to 3 rooms.
Well, you had to, but the cordless was amazing.
Yes.
When that happened,
was amazing.
Kevin, I
life
can hear you on the
changed.
phone. I can hear you breathing, Kevin. Hang up the phone. I'm trying to talk to my girlfriend. Kevin!
I had a
can hear you.
private line. That was my greatest gift of all time.
Really?
Yep.
It wasn't private.
No, but it was my own.
No, that's special.
It was my own privacy.
That's basically that's like getting a TV in your room. That's like the old school creme de la creme moves that you could have.
I think it was better. Here's why.
Sure.
Here's why. You could either call the time or the weather.
Yes.
And then I had all the same. I had 3-way calling, just like my parents did on my line. So at 11:30, we'd negotiate whoever's calling. I would just call the time, and then just get the beep beep and click over. Oh, it was so brilliant.
Kevin, I looked on the phone bill this month. You are a absolute time fanatic.
I need to know what time it is, Mom.
Were you timing something? Yeah, I was timing something.
Beat my record.
beat my record.
So you had all these schemes and everything. It was always your fault.
I know, but they never really ended up all that great.
See,
I don't know why
Mrs.
anyone
Ricca,
would think.
see, he's admitting it.
Well,
By
no,
the way, that's well played. You stay with it forever. Do not ever leave
Do you
it.
think he's ever backing off this
No,
bit?
never.
This has been his bit for almost 5
That's why I'm saying it.
decades.
I totally respect the commitment.
Yeah, I agree.
I was with Kevin.
I was with Kevin. I have those people still today.
He's very thirsty at a young age.
You have to decide who you're going to throw under the bus, because in the back of your mind, at some point, you throw someone under the bus long enough, someone's gonna be like, "What? Why you're still hanging out with?"
I never had that guy. I was too busy just trying to get out
You
of
were
the
too busy
back.
being that
I was
guy.
in the back. I was like, "Did anyone else do any other crap besides me?"
5 different parents cornered me at graduation, blaming me for their kids. What's
It's
going
Kevin's.
on? Yeah, it's Kevin's. Apparently, I fathered 10 children and ran a drug ring in high school, but whatever.
Apparently, I've got the money for cigarettes, tobacco, Zin, rubbers, and all you can drink.
I don't know where you got it from, dude. It was amazing.
It was
And you always left it in our stuff.
T's
You're
favorite
still
drawer,
getting it.
T's locker, T's car. I was everywhere.
His bedstand, underneath his mattress.
Oh my God! It was,
See, was Kevin in the shower? Kevin was in the shower with me. Yes,
For
that
God's
is his.
sake.
That is his. I didn't know it came with a suction cup, but it did, and Kevin showed it to me.
Man,
Facts. We just spit facts on this show, guys.
Hey, it's been a long
Great
3
job.
days. We are again, like I said at the top of the show, Tuesday's Tuesday, and last couple of years, I know we took the Tuesday off after the tournament.
You took the Tuesday off.
Yeah,
We just were like, okay, I guess
it's
Ken
true.
doesn't want to do it tonight.
No, I respect that. I think that since 2015, as Robert Cohen accurately pointed out, we've missed very few Tuesdays. There's 50. We get, you only get 52 Tuesdays a year. I mean, if you think about it, that's you got to maximize the value of that.
T-shirt.
That is a T-shirt. Mr. Haynes, how many T-shirts did you make? How many do you have in your factory? Because we're gonna need them all.
You only get 52 Tuesdays a year. Give Mike Loxley away.
That's, by the way, that's probably our best T-shirt.
Hail to the Broncos. What are we doing? I love it.
I'm gonna need to buy a warehouse for all of these T-shirts. My wife is so unhappy with my T-shirt purchasing strategy. She's like, there's something called actual stock in companies you can buy instead of T-shirts. I'm like, you don't understand. These T-shirts are gonna be worth something someday. Really? So Mike Loxley's just gonna coach Maryland forever?
He might.
Correct. Brian Orakpo is gonna go down in history as one of the greatest.
No, that was a brief.
I think we established this was not a great idea.
Well, but you know what? My whole thing was the ebony and ivory. That was the crux of it.
Anytime you say crack in Washington D.C., it's not going to start off great.
It's not crack. It's correct.
Well,
but I understand.
Tomato.
We had a couple different versions of it. At the end of the day, it was all about the ebony and the ivory stacking in perfect harmony. And again, look at all those Super Bowl trophies. The trophy case speaks for itself, T. I mean, obviously we dominated.
There would be a subgenre that would like all of these, the way you just described it.
Yes. A very, very tortured group of people who will give us a lot of money for T-shirts about panty raids. Patent pending, everybody. Patent pending.
I thought it was a face mask.
He's our general counsel. Ooh, interesting. That's going to be on the back of the T-shirt.
Isn't that what T said?
No, what? I didn't say it.
The Dorrance Armstrong panty raid face mask. You said it first.
Something about
T.
I said a lot of things. Tonight.
That horse collaring was consensual, Your Honor, and all I can say is he was asking for it because of the way he was dressed.
Can't wait to see you guys next week.
Oh yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, I know. I appreciate what you're doing. 1946 style. Tell everyone what the year that is.
The year DeMatha was established.
DeMatha represented themselves well this weekend, as did McNamara, St. John's, and PVI. As did First Amendment Sports.
Mike Jones and boys.
Courtside at another WCAC tournament. Another Tuesday in the basement. We'll be back in 7 days to continue priming up for this free agency period and also to get 1 second or two closer to finding out what's going to happen in this draft. We're not going to know anything more in 7 days than we know now. We'll have some fun stuff for you planned for next week. Off season in the basement is draft time. Next week we're doing our first draft of the off season, and we'll prepare for it together. But we're getting back to the drafts. It has to happen, and it's happening next week. Cool.
That sounds great to me.
Sure.
Now it's pre-roll call time.
Yeah,
love it.
We're drafting next week. He's Tim Strachan.
I already signed off. I'll see him next week.
No, you ordered the sign off. But I'm giving you the professional.
I want to go design T-shirts. Out the green
intro.
room. So looking forward to next week.
I never seen. By the way, if T is panty rating your situation, it is
what?
going to be a long day. He's Kevin Ricca.
Listen, the last thing you said
Better
before
have a
Kevin
rambler.
Ricca. Well, yeah. You know what? I take full responsibility for everything that was said here tonight.
I told you.
Dad, did you hear? He said it.
Mrs.
He said
Ricca.
it.
T and Ken are off the hook.
I didn't do anything.
Mom and Dad won't be any more disappointed than they already are. And all is well in Kensington. Thanks for checking us out tonight, fellas.
Tell Mom he admitted it. Just tell Mom he admitted it.
Yeah.
7 days from now, air raid on offense, panty raid on defense might be a signature for us on the going forward basis. I'm Ken Meringolo. Thank God it's Tuesday. We're still live. By the way,
We're gonna need
was
the
a
air raid for the
stroke
panty
of
raid.
genius.
Gonna need it.
I can't believe we've had an air raid offense in football vernacular this long, and we haven't had a panty raid defense.
It happened organically. And,
Yes, it did.
And I'm engorged.
I love it.
You're re-engorged.